Hi, I'm Alan Bresnick, Cable Video Practice Leader, Light Reading. I'm here speaking to Dan Whalen, who's President and CEO of ATX Networks. Dan, thanks for joining us for this
Thanks,
video.
Alan. I really appreciate it.
Sure. So Dan, let's get right into the questions. You've been very vocal about the ability of cable operators to maintain their broadband leadership by upgrading their HFC networks. Why are you so confident that MSOs have an edge over fiber providers and other rivals?
Yep. Yeah, Alan, you got it right. I'm really bullish on this. The HFC network and the cable MSOs are really in a great position here. HFC has a long road in front of it with a lot more spectrum, a lot more overhead available, can offer similar solutions to any fiber to the home provider in today's world and better solutions than any of the fixed wireless access providers with two key advantages. One, it can do fiber-like services to any place there's coax, and at costs ranging from 10 to 15 times or even more lower than the cost to pull fiber. And the other big one, these services can be lit up in a very small fraction of the time. Like everybody that's tried to cut their teeth on fiber deployment over the years has learned it takes a long time, it costs a lot of money. Cable operators are in a great place to capitalize on that. And then it's not just a matter of this. These MSOs have done such a great job over the years offering double play, triple play services that frankly, the telephone companies, fixed wireless access providers don't have a lot of experience in. And I just think that it provides for a much better and more compelling reason for consumers to stick with or go with cable in those markets where they can reach.
Okay, cool. Well, you've also been vocal about ATX's commitment to protecting the legacy investments of your customers. How is your recent technology licensing deal with Cisco to take over the development of the GS7000 node an example of that commitment?
Yeah, so this is another great example. ATX completely laser focused on the cable industry, and what better way to support the winning advantages in service delivery with superior time to market and cost than to help them use what's already out there, leverage the existing platforms that are widely deployed, and do it faster and for less money. The technology licensing agreement around the GS7000 is geared at ensuring the MSOs can continue to deploy these products confidently, knowing it's going to be supported by a great company like ATX. And the GS7000, while primarily used as an HFC analog node today, there's early deployments of DAA in it. It's a platform that's designed to last long into the future and really support the cable operators' capital investments with both DAA and PON in this platform. We'll go at it in a very cooperative way for the cable operators. There's a number of people that have already built DOCSIS 3.1 RPDs and RMDs. We'll work with them to partner on getting it into the platform. But we'll also look at opportunities to do some of that in the PON world with remote OLTs. And, I think it really creates a great environment for the cable operators to continue to deploy that product with confidence, knowing it's going to be supported for a long time.
Yeah, it's a more complicated world now with DOCSIS and PON both in play, right?
It sure is.
Can you share any more information about your GS7000 development plans, including your plans to support DAA RPDs, as you mentioned before? In addition to that, are you renewing your interest in the generic access platform AMP?
Yep. Yeah, no, good question. So we're planning to do them both. The GS7000 will be first. We have plans to have that developed, new designs, and start shipping that product before the end of this year to provide real continuity for the cable operators. We're planning for it to work with both DOCSIS 3.1 RPDs and RMDs, as well as making the transition to DOCSIS 4.0 as that technology is available. As many people know, we're very involved in the 1.8 gigahertz amplifier development. A lot of the work that we're doing there will be reusable here. We can build the 1.8 gigahertz RF trays for the GS7000 node. And that will enable this DOCSIS 4 light up and really offering these multi-gigabit symmetrical services for the operators. We're not stopping there. We're making sure that the platform is going to have enough space and power allocated for PON solutions. Many operators want to have the flexibility to offer PON or HFC services in certain markets, especially when they're adding new into a market that's already serviced by an HFC node. So we're pretty excited about this platform. We think it really is a great path for us and for our customers to be able to, support the next wave of future development in cable.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up the 1.8 gigahertz amp because that's the next question. It looks like 2023 might be the year when operators start adopting 1.8 gigahertz active technology. ATX is obviously a player, as you just mentioned, in this space with your acquisition of the Gain Maker technology in 2020. What are MSOs seeking in a 1.8 gigahertz amp, and how does ATX best compete in this area when there's others doing it as well?
Yeah, no question. The need for MSOs to move to high split to better compete with fiber to the home marketing is at a fever pitch right now. And MSOs, as they always do, trying to avoid regrettable spend with their immediately required RF plant upgrades. And they're driving the vendor community to both accelerate product development of 1.8 gigahertz amplifiers and create availability of that product, but also trying to drive us to get there in a very cost competitive manner. Great. Yep. For ATX, building on a 1.2 gigahertz amplifier taps and passive portfolio that we have, and we acquired the technology license to with Cisco. We continue to invest in various versions of this. We're in a real leadership position with 1.8 gigahertz extended spectrum DOCSIS versions of these technologies. We've had the 2 gigahertz taps and passives available for the market since 2019. We've been shipping them for the last few years, and they're deployed today in more than a handful of MSOs. Recent tweaks to that product have enabled more MSOs to better support different spectrum, more diverse deployments of this with using different amounts of spectrum. On the amplifier front, we're fast down the path here. We're building in a bunch of management capability into this platform so that the operators will have better visibility into what's happening in their RF plant. And we're on a path. We've actually been demonstrating our 1.8 gigahertz line extender the last month. This month we'll be delivering and starting to demonstrate our system amplifier, and we're well on track for second half general availability of these products.
How does your new contract manufacturing facility in the U.S. contribute to your strategy?
Yeah, it's a big important part at SET. I talked about it a lot. We've been making great progress in standing up this manufacturing facility in Michigan with our partner Mara. This is really gonna, open things up for us both from a capacity perspective, but also from a flexibility perspective to address building lots of variations of the product. As we've learned through the years, it's never a hard cut to the next generation of technology with cable. So they're, even today, some of them are still deploying 1 gigahertz products. They're going to be deploying 1.2 gigahertz products for a long time, and they'll be adopting 1.8 gigahertz products in the very near future. Well, we need to figure out how we support all of those variations. Having some flexibility by augmenting what we already do in Asia with our partner there is going to give us a lot of flexibility to meet these growing and diverse demands from the cable center. And, frankly, everything that we've lived through with the supply chain crisis over the last few years, having a lot of these products built on U.S. soil is going to help with time to market, de-risk those times when there are real challenges with getting ships overseas, whether it's health crisis in Asia, or it's cost of containers or a shortage of containers, rail strikes. It's always easier to address these things when we can actually get them on a truck and move them around. So giving us that flexibility is really important for our customers.
Okay, thanks. We've talked a lot about the access network and the outside plan, which are obviously pretty important to ATX, but you also have a role in optical transport and media distribution. So how are you meeting customer needs in those areas?
Yeah, so, ATX has been playing a pretty big role in supporting the transformation of cable networks from analog to digital, and along the way, helping enable operators to get even better benefits in terms of real estate consolidation, cost, and reaching further out to the edge, particularly in rural development opportunities. We have solutions that aggregate DAA and PON in a head end or a data center. We have we're enabling operators to consolidate hubs, eliminate real estate into a single outdoor unit that can be strand mounted or in a pedestal. But also, as I mentioned, this race to get fiber deeper. We have a bidirectional optical amplifier, EDFA, that's perfect for long haul fiber links. It's being used today by multiple operators to reach those far away rural developments where they have many miles of fiber links, and they need to be able to support bidirectional traffic over those long distances.
Got it. All right. Thanks. Last question. ATX is also entering the energy storage business. Can you talk about this space, which isn't necessarily limited to the cable industry, but applies to a lot of other industries as well?
Yeah, sure thing. With edge outs happening for cable, both, adding DAA and PON, both of those technologies have very sensitive CPU-based electronics out in the field, and the grid needs to be really stable. As all of us know that have been working in this industry for a long time, that's just not the reality. The grid is not a stable place. Whether it's electrical storms, it's cuts, it's people driving into telephone poles or electrical poles.
Right. Particularly if you live in Texas, right?
Yeah, especially if you live in Texas. But
right.
The operators need solutions that are gonna back up that power and take the jitter out of the grid so that the CPU doesn't bounce and recycle and take all of their customers down that are on these new DAA and PON deployments. Mm-hmm. Additionally, government mandates in some states around broadband providers needing to provide backup regardless of whether the electrical is working or not. In California alone, they've mandated a 72-hour battery backup for broadband providers so that they can shut the electrical grid down in case of fires. Right. Well, we've thought long and hard about it, and we think that if you're trying to shut the electric down because there's fires coming, the last thing you want to do is put diesel or propane generators above ground in the line of fire to provide battery backup. So, the team's come up with and worked with folks to develop this hybrid supercapacitor. It's not your everyday, it's not a battery. It's an energy storage solution and has a lot of capability. It's not acid-based, so it doesn't leak, it doesn't blow up, it doesn't catch on fire. Mm-hmm. It's green, it can be recycled, and it has 3 to 5 times the life expectancy of the traditional battery backup solutions that the operators are providing. Software capability with the product, we're able to support taking jitter out of the network, and having that confidence that the thing's going to work for 15, 18 years really gives the cable operators a lot of flexibility and ability to maybe not roll techs all the time to check on battery packs or fill them with water. The amount of cost savings from this for the operators over time is going to be massive. And look, it's just good for it's good for our planet to have less lead acid batteries sitting out in the field and deteriorating or leaking, and the cleanup from all those things over time is just immense.
Yeah, we can definitely use that change. Okay. Well, Dan, thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Alan. Really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing everybody.
Yeah, take care.